Good morning, all. We are ready to start. Please make sure that your phones are off. Thank you.
I was not given names, so I will not do a proper good morning. Good morning, Ms. Powe. Please place yourselves on record.
Chair, my name is Mosotho Petlane,
Petlane.
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 Petlane. I'm with Ms. Kosi Phamasihuno, both councils. Our instructing attorney is seated some, or there she is.
Yes.
That's Ms. Palesa Nhlapo from Nhlapo Palesa Attorneys.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
morning to both of you. I am happy that I will not have to say that surname.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Powe, will the witness be swearing or affirming?
Chair, I have not
Let
asked.
me ask directly then. Good morning, Mr. Nkwashu.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Please remind me what your rank is.
Commissioner, my rank is Brigadier.
Brigadier. Good morning, Brigadier. Will you be swearing or affirming?
I'll be swearing, Commissioner.
Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, Brigadier.
Brigadier, can you just do me one favor so that we don't get it wrong? Can you say your name the way you want it to be said? Does it have an H or is it just a Nkwashu?
Commissioner, my name or my surname?
Surname.
My surname has got an H. It's not Nkwashu, it's a Nkwashu. I hope Commissioner Baloyi will be knowing that. Nkwashu.
I suspected that. That's why I wanted you to clarify it.
Yes, thanks, Commissioner.
I think it gets more confusing, especially when you say Commissioner Baloyi will know. So the reference to Ingota and all those things confused me because I had not expected the surname to be one that would have anything to do with Ingota. Anyway.
No, Commissioner, Chair, I'm just referring it to Commissioner Baloyi because I'm Shangan.
That's exactly where I am. Anyway, thanks, Brigadier.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. But please state your full name for the record.
My full name, Commissioner Chair, I'm Mbangwa Abraham Nkwashu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Bowen.
Brigadier Commissioners, just to take you through some housekeeping, there should be one file before you, so I'm sure you are happy. So it's divided into 4 sections. The first section is the main affidavit or statement of Brigadier Nkwashu. The second is a supplementary statement. The third tab, it's reference material. So this is all evidence and statements that are already before the commission. We've just extracted parts that we want to use for purposes of the brigadier's evidence. The last tab is exhibits, and those consist of material that are not before the commission yet, but we do intend to use it. These are materials sourced from inquiries and the commission's own investigative processes. So you'll see there that we seek to introduce CJC 184 to 192. Brigadier, do you have one file in front of you?
Yes, I see.
If we can then move to confirming your statement, in tab 1, please confirm that this is the statement that you've prepared for purposes of giving testimony before the commission.
I do confirm, I see.
And if you can proceed to page 17, can you confirm that that is your signature?
Quite correct, SC is my signature.
Thank you, Brigadier. And under tab 2, can you confirm that that's your supplementary statement? It starts at page 18 and runs to page 33.
Confirm, SC.
And can you confirm that that is your signature at page 32?
Quite
That
correct,
statement.
SC.
And can you confirm that both statements, the contents of both statements are true and correct?
I confirm that, SC.
Thank you, Brigadier. Brigadier, just to make sure, what did you call me? Sorry, my apologies.
Senior counsel, SC.
Oh, not far from it.
Better things to come, Ms. Blanca.
Thank you, Brigadier. If we can then go to your statement, Brigadier, just for the purposes of this first section, I will take you through your statement relatively uninterrupted, except if I have any clarity-seeking questions. Similarly, the commissioners may have clarity-seeking questions. But otherwise, this is an opportunity for you to put your evidence on record and your version of events as you see them. And in the morning, I had inquired from you whether you have a preference for me to just take you through the sections, or if you prefer to read, and you'd indicated that you would prefer to read your statement. Is that still the case?
Correct, Advocate.
And then, Brigadier, when you read through the statement, we'll take it section by section so that if there are clarity questions, we can then deal with them in each section.
Thank you, Advocate.
Okay. Then, Brigadier, let's proceed with your first statement. You needn't go through the first paragraph because that's just information related to who you are. But can we start at paragraph 2? And I noted in neither of your statements do you explain your trajectory in the SAPS. So it may also be an opportune time when you deal with paragraph 2 to also talk about your rise within the ranks and the positions you have held. If you can please do that.
Thank you, Advocate. Paragraph 2 reads as thus: I joined the SAPS 39 years ago and have served diligently to date. In June 2022, I was posted to Sidibeng District as Deputy District Commissioner. I have been appointed to act as District Commissioner whenever the substantive District Commissioner is absent, whether on leave, retired, or otherwise unavailable. My trajectory In the South African Police Service, commissioners, I'll try to shorten it because it's long. You can imagine for 39 years. I joined the police in 1986 when I was applying to get into the police. It was the South African police by then. Then in 1987, I was taken in to do what we call recruiting at the police station, which was in Soweto, Moroka. And that was in July 1987. And then in December, I went to college and as a student, police. And then I left the college when we passed out after 6 months. That was now in 1988, June the 30th. I was promoted to a full-fledged constable. Then I was deployed to Soweto Public Order Policing, commonly known as POPs unit. And I worked there in Soweto. That was from 1988 up until 1989, where I moved with rank to the then Vehicle Theft Unit, which is known now as a Vehicle Crime Investigation Unit, specializing in stolen cars and the likes. Then in 1990, I was promoted to be a Lance Sergeant. There was a rank called Lance Sergeant. And then in 1991, I was promoted to a rank of a full sergeant. And I was still working at the very same Vehicle Crime Investigation Unit. And in 1993, I was transferred to Vehicle Crime Investigation Unit in Brixton, Johannesburg. I worked there up until 1998. No, I worked there up until 1997, if I'm not mistaken. Then I was promoted to be a warrant officer by then. Then I was taken to, I was one of the members that were taken to open the first organized crime unit in Gauteng that was situated in Roodepoort. Then I worked there at organized crime unit until 1998, somewhere there, when I was moved back to Brixton, where I worked up until the year 2000, when I was promoted, 2002, when I was promoted to be a captain. And from 2002, I was promoted to a captain, and I was working in Krugersdorp Vehicle Crime Investigation Unit. Then from 2002 to 2005, I beg your pardon, to 2005, I was then promoted to be, in 2005, to be a superintendent. And then I worked from 2005 to 2007. Then I was again promoted to senior superintendent. And then I was moved to Vereeniging, Vehicle Crime Investigation Unit as a commander. In all those areas where I was promoted to before, I was promoted as a commander of the investigation since the rank of a sergeant. Then in 2007, up until 2010, 2010, I think at the end of 2010, I think it was somewhere around after the World Cup, I was moved to, transferred to the provincial headquarters in Johannesburg, which is in Parktown, where I worked as a detective coordinator. Then the 2012, I was then moved to Western area, where I was working as a detective head and with the rank of a colonel, colonel. Then 2012 to 2014 December, I was moved to, I was transferred to Begesdal subs, where I was appointed as a station commander. And from 2012 to 2018, I was then promoted to the rank of the brigadier, and I was a station commander at Atteridgeville subs. And I worked at the Atteridgeville subs between 2018 and 2022, where in between I was appointed in the absence of the district commissioner. I was appointed to be district commissioner few occasions. From 2022, I was then transferred to Vereeniging, back to Vereeniging in the Sedibeng district, and appointed as a deputy district commissioner, and which is where I'm currently serving. Thank you, Advocate.
Thank you, Brigadier. You can then move on to dealing with the next section of your affidavit or statement.
Thank you, Advocate. The next paragraph will be talking to the purpose of this affidavit, which is, I make this affidavit voluntarily in response to the summons subpoena to appear as a witness issued by the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System, the Commission, on 9 April 2026, directing me to appear on the 21st of April in relation to my attempts to interfere in the bail proceedings of Michael Puletau. The second one was my demand for the Armand Swart murder docket, and my relationship or connection with Katiso Mlife being the third one. The fourth paragraph talks to the purpose of this affidavit, which is to state my position regarding the allegations that I attempted to interfere in the bail proceedings of Mr. Tau. And the second one, to state my position regarding the allegations that I demanded the Armand Swart murder docket. The third one being stating my position regarding my relationship or connection with Mr. Katiso Mlife. Before addressing the specific allegations contained in the summons, I consider it important to set out the logical order of this affidavit to ensure coherence and a proper understanding of the facts. I will then first explain my first relationship with Fundiswa Nyangule, the customary wife of Katiso Mlife, including the Mpondo custom of Ingota and how I become obliged to treat Fundiswa as my baby sister. This foundation is necessary because all my subsequent interactions with Katiso, including the events that gave rise to the allegation of bail interference, flow directly from that family bond that I had with Fundiswa. Secondly, I will deal with the allegation that I improperly interfered in the bail proceedings of Mr. Tau. And thirdly and finally, I will address the allegation that I demanded the Arman Swart docket and show that my actions were pursuant to lawful instruction from the Provincial Commissioner. I respectfully submit that this order makes the affidavit easier to follow and demonstrate that there was no improper conduct on my part. I'm sorry. I record that this statement was prepared under significant time constraints in the context of the Commission's directives. While I have endeavored to deal with the material issues raised in this summon, the circumstances under which the statement was prepared may mean that not every detail has to be exhausted or was exhausted. The statement is, however, true and correct to the best of my knowledge and recollection of the facts at this stage. I accordingly reserve the right to supplement, clarify, or amplify this statement should it become necessary in order to assist the Commission. My family...
Before you continue, you referred to Ms. Nyangule as Mr. Katiso Mulife's customary wife. Some people usually use that term, customary wife or customary husband, to refer to what I would loosely call umashlalisane, or people who are cohabiting with no formal marriage bond, which is different from a customary marriage, and then spouses in a customary marriage, which is not the same thing as people abango masihlalisane, people that are cohabiting. So I know that you do refer to a customary marriage between the two, but I just want to understand your use of customary wife.
Thank you, Commissioner. To my understanding and knowledge of the marriage status of Fundiswa to Katiso Mlife. Katiso Mlife,
At this stage, Brigadier, I don't think I want a lengthy explanation. By saying customary wife, do you mean they are married by customary rights or in accordance with customary law? Or do you mean bango masihlalisane? They are merely cohabiting. Just that difference.
So I apologize, Commissioner, for not understanding your question. However, they were married in accordance to customary law.
Thank you.
Brigadier, when dealing with this next part of your statement, can you take us through your relationship with Fundiswa, the customs, the traditional customs you speak of, until you reach why this matters? So all the way until you deal with the meeting that you have with Katiso, because that then is the background about your relationship with Fundiswa and Katiso and why that is important.
Thank you, Advocate. I'll take you through my relationship with Fundiswa, starting from paragraph 9, just explaining how Fundiswa became part of my family. My wife had a younger brother named Sazi, who is now late. Before he found employment, Sazi lived with my wife and myself in our home in Kagiso for a considerable period. During that time, he met Fundiswa, and I did not know Fundiswa by then. They developed a romantic relationship. Eventually, Sazi found work at the police also, and he managed to buy his own house. And thereafter, because he's now working, he paid lobola for Fundiso. They lived in a house close to ours and spent much time with our family over the years. Fundiso became like a baby sister to me. I grew to love and care for her as my own sibling. By
Brigadier?
virtue,
My apologies, just before you move on, do you have a time period for this? The first two paragraphs are couched in very general terms. Do you know roundabout when this was?
yes, Advocate, although I may not remember
A rough estimation is fine.
specifically, yeah. Sazi came to Joburg in the early 90s. Yeah, in the early 90s. Early 90s. Yeah, in the early 90s. And in 1999, we paid lobola for Fundiso. So, and that one I remember because I was part of that lobola, and we paid lobola for her. And then I think a year down the line, they bought their own house, then they stayed in their own house.
Thank you, Brigadier. You can proceed.
Thank you.
Just to understand this part fully, besides your family, there is you and your wife, Sazi's sister. Was there any other family involved, or was it just that family unit? In the lobola negotiations.
Oh, yes, Commissioner Chair. In my family of my wife,
Yeah.
there's an uncle who is not staying with us.
Aka, you may cut it then. So there were others.
There were others.
Outside of just this family unit. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, thank you.
Can I continue?
Yes, you can, Brigadier.
All right. On or about, Commissioner, I would like to apologize. I think that there was a printing error that I did not see earlier on paragraph 11. It reads on or about 14 May 2002. Sazi passed away. In actual fact, he passed away on 14 May 2000. Tragically, he got shot and 2 days later, after he got shot, Fundiso's mother also died. At the same, I apologize. At the time of this death, Sazi and Fundiso had just finalized their lobola negotiations, and we were preparing for a civil union, because on the very same Saturday that we buried Sazi, we were going to have a party. In the Mpondo or Xhosa tradition, the Ingota ceremony, which means the sending off of the married girl, had already taken place. Ingota is the pivotal ritual where the bride-to-be is officially released from her birth family to join her new family. During the Ingota, the elders inform the bride that there is no longer a place for her in her biological home. Her ancestral protection and daily life now belong to her husband's lineage. A goat is slaughtered to inform the ancestors that the daughter is living. The groom is also warned that he must provide permanent home because the bride has closed the door behind her. Because of Ingota,
Perhaps I should state that I'm hearing of this for the first time, and yet I also belong to the larger group of Amaxhosa. So perhaps it's Mpondo specific. I'm just mentioning this because of the bracketed Xhosa after Mpondo in paragraph 12.
no, thank you, Commissioner Chair. At least you learned something from me also.
Thank you for the education.
Should I continue, Advocate?
Yes, you may.
Because of Ingota, the bride's integration into the husband's family is complete and irreversible. As the elder of my family, I become obliged to treat Fundiswa as my baby sister and to continue the relationship even after Sazi's death. Custom demanded that I protect and support her as if she were my own blood sister. Why the Ingota custom binds me? The Ingota ceremony is not merely a cultural formality under the Mpondo customary law. It creates irreversible obligations for the husband's family because the ritual had already taken place when Sazi died. Fundiswa had already been sent off from her birth family, her ancestral and social protection transferred to my family. As the surviving elder in my family, Sazi's older brother-in-law through my wife, I become de facto head of that family unit.
Sorry, Brigadier, does it mean that Sazi did not have an older brother? If you became the head?
No, Sazi had an elder brother who was staying in KZN. And me, actually, I would say I was a breadwinner.
Okay.
Yeah, and his biological older brother was a person who was not working, he's not having a job. You know, in our tradition, when you are a breadwinner and the sister, Sazi's sister, is elder to Sazi.
Thank you.
I became the de facto head of that family unit. Customary law therefore required me to treat Fundiswa as my own blood sister. I had to protect and support her, including facilitating her remarriage if she chose to. Continue that relationship even after Sazi's death because Ingota is not dissolved by death. The bride remains part of the husband's lineage. This is not a matter of a personal choice. To disregard Ingota will be to abandon Fundiswa, which will bring shame upon my family and in terms of Mpondo custom, could even be believed to invite ancestral displeasure. I acted not out of favoritism toward Katiso, but out of a binding customary duty toward my sister. Any assistance I gave to her or her husband must be understood in that light. Further to this, Fundiswa's entire family passed on, leaving us with her as the only survivor in that family. Fundiswa's right to remarry. After about a year of Sazi's passing, the family, we gathered because Fundiswa was still young, and we decided that we inform her that because it was now after mourning, we can release her since she was still young to move on with her own life. She was free then to enter into any other relationship and remarry again if she wished to. Then she chose to do that, and years later, Fundiswa came to tell us that she met a guy whom she whom he wants to marry her. They entered into a customary marriage. I accepted him as my sister's husband, just as I would accept any brother-in-law.
Brigadier, just before you move on, you just say years later, so we are now in 2001. Do you have an approximation of when this years later, how many years later, or at least when they entered into a customary marriage?
Yeah, Fundiswa came to tell us in 2005 that this guy whom she met wanted to marry her, and then in 2021, the guy paid lobola and married her.
My apologies, Brigadier, did you say years later, so 5 years later, about 4 years later, 2025, is when she expressed an interest, and when did they marry?
2021.
2021?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you play any role in that? I recall earlier you said that part of your responsibilities as the de facto head would have been including to facilitate her marriage if she chose.
Yeah, Advocate, I will apologize for not including this in my affidavit. Fundiswa came and told us, but unfortunately, I was not part of that particular marriage, and I will tell you why. When she came and told us, she seated us like the elders, and she told us. Then I asked her, who is this guy, and then what is his status? Like you will ask your children, uyasebenza lo muntu, uzokwazi ukukunakekela, and all those things. And she told us that, yeah, this guy unama business, but what made me not be part of that marriage is because I was angry at her because she told us that this guy is a married guy. So I decided, I was not happy to hear that he's a married guy, and I said to her, you can't marry a married guy. Then I left the meeting at that, and she decided to continue on her own.
So does this mean that, noting that you've just said she can't marry a married guy, does this mean it was a polygamous marriage? Or you have no idea?
No, I had no idea, but all I heard is that the guy who is intending to marry her is a married guy. Then I said, I don't recommend you marrying a married guy, you're still young. So I left it at that.
All right. Thank you, Brigadier.
Should I continue?
Yes, you can.
I think it's necessary to explain why
Sorry,
this matters.
I'm very sorry, Brigadier. But you state categorically that they did enter into a marriage, a customary marriage. Are you saying this because there were lobola negotiations, lobola was paid, and the usual rituals that go with a customary marriage were engaged in? Is that why you call it a customary marriage?
Thank you, Commissioner Chair. I called it like that because I learned afterwards that that event took place.
Those events, it's
Yes,
more than...
those events took place.
Oh, thank you.
I thought it will be important to explain why this matters. In paragraph 20, my relationship with Fundiswa is not based on any improper association. It is a traditional family bond rooted to Mpondo custom and in the ordinary human ties of care for a woman who become my sister through marriage. I reiterate to state that any assistance I gave to Fundiswa, including lending her a vehicle, helping her deliver clothes to her husband in prison, or meeting with Katiso, must be understood in that context.
Thank you, Brigadier. Just to take you back to paragraph 19, you say there that you accepted him as my sister's husband, just as I would any brother-in-law. Does this mean after the wedding proceeded, you then accepted him?
Yes, Advocate, because I realized that I could not change the situation. I had no option but to accept it.
But based on what you say later, that was not immediate. It was after some time. I'm not sure whether it was a bit of time.
Correct, Chair.
All right.
It was later.
Brigadier, you can then move on to dealing with your meetings with Katiso.
Thank you, Commissioners. My meetings with Katiso started towards the end of June 2024. I think it was somewhere around 27, 28, somewhere there. Fundiswa gave me a call and requested a meeting with me. And we made arrangements to meet, and we finally meet in Alberton in a restaurant. A day later, I met with Fundiswa in the presence of my nephew, who is 17 years old, who was 17 years old by then. She informed me that, amongst others, the reason she needed to see me was because she needed to conclude a family's estate. As I alluded earlier on, that all her family died.
Okay. Oh, now I understand the reference to family.
Yes.
Because I thought this was perhaps a reference to her deceased husband's estate, that is Sazi. But no, now I understand. With the explanation you've just given, I understand the reference to family.
Thanks, Commissioner Chair. I gave her guidance on how to deal with the estate with my little knowledge that she must visit the Master of High Court, and where she are experiencing challenges, she must just get the services of a lawyer who will assist her further. And after that conversation, Fundiswa stated that she is not happy that I had never met her husband, Katiso, as she has a relationship with me, and she would like me to meet her husband. And I had my personal reasons, amongst others, being my loyalty to Sazi, and the earlier reasons that I stated that I was angry for her to go and marry a married man.
Brigadier, just to clarify, so you hadn't met him at all between 2021 and 2024?
I've never met him before.
Thank you.
Thanks. Indeed, a meeting was arranged between Katiso and myself. We met at a restaurant also in Alberton. When I met Katiso...
When was this?
That was end of June 2024.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. When I met Katiso, we conversed generally about our respective personal circumstances after he was introduced to me by my sister-in-law, who was still in the company of the 17-year-old nephew of mine. He mentioned that He was involved in various business interests, including the security sector. As part of a general discussion about future plans, I indicated that I was approaching retirement from the SAPS. The discussion remained informal and exploratory in nature, to an extent that he told me that he's got this big tender in Machabeng, and he will want security forces to come and work there. So should I be interested when I retire, I can just go into work with him and in that space with my experience as a police officer. Then I accepted, and then I said, no, I will be interested, but we will talk because there are processes to undergo. Then that was it with regard to our conversations, and amongst others. I'm just specifically talking to this because I know that later we will come to dwell into it. But we spoke at length and amongst many things, just catching up to know him.
And Brigadier, just for clarity, you say that both your nephew and sister were there. Was that there was just the four of you? Or were there other people at the meeting?
Thank you, Advocate. In that meeting, it was the only four of us. And Fundiswa came with my nephew, and then she introduced us. And then after introducing us, she left us. She left the two of us to talk man to man.
All right, and what about your wife?
Pardon?
What about your wife? I'm assuming because you have Fundiswa, who was married to your wife's younger brother, and she's coming to introduce her husband. It was just you two. It was just to facilitate a meeting between just the two of you, not the entire family.
Yeah, it was my wife was not there. It was the only two of us. And perhaps I should tell you that I never, or rather we parted ways with my wife.
Oh, at this point?
Yeah, at that point.
Sorry, not to dig any deeper, but just in the timeline, when did you part with your wife?
I think it was in 2014.
In 2014?
Yes.
But then Fundiswa remained a part of your family?
Yes.
Even though you had separated from your wife?
Yes.
And by parting, you mean?
We
Separation or divorce?
separated, yeah.
Oh, just separation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brigadier.
Brigadier, just maybe before you go too far, just to clarify, at paragraph 23, and I just need you to clarify because I understood things differently until this discussion you're having now with Ms. Bowe. At 23, you say you had a meeting with Fundiswa with her son, your nephew. And this is where she said she would like you to meet Mr. Molefe. And then in paragraph 25, you say indeed a meeting was arranged, and then we met at a restaurant in Alberton at the end of June 2024. I had understood that, in fact, the meeting of the 23rd is just you and Fundiswa and the son. And then there's another meeting in paragraph 25, which is you and Mr. Molefe. So two different meetings, but the second meeting with Mr. Molefe, as I understand it, in paragraph 25, Fundiswa was not there. But in your discussion with Ms. Bowe, you're saying there's a meeting where you are all present, with Mr. Molefe, and then Fundiswa leaves you with the son. Can you just explain that? It may be my misunderstanding of your explanation.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Baloyi. Commissioner Baloyi, it's true in paragraph 23, I met with Fundiso and my nephew. And the following day, if you can look at paragraph 23, I said a day or two later, I met with Fundiswa in the presence of her son, with my nephew. She informed me about this and this. Then we dealt with that one. Then in paragraph 25, indeed, a meeting was arranged between Katiso and myself. It was arranged by Fundiso, because she's the one who requested me to meet the husband, and telling me that the husband wanted to meet me also. Fundiso was there to introduce the husband, because I never knew him, I never saw him physically before. And she brought him along, and she was still going with the 17-year-old nephew. Then after introducing us, because she introduced the husband to me, she introduced me to the husband, she left. She left the two of us, and then she...
Thank you, Brigadier. So it was on a different date?
Yeah, it was the following day.
Okay, thank you.
Should I continue, Advocate?
Yes, Brigadier, you are now dealing with, you had touched on most of what happens in the meeting. You are yet to deal with paragraph 27.
Thank you, Advocate. As we were concluding the meeting, Katiso, whom I'm now knowing as my brother-in-law, now calling him Butke, he told me that a friend of his had been arrested, and he needed to know if the state will oppose bail, as he wanted to pay the bail money for his friend. And I told him right away. In actual fact, I just stopped him and say, Swara, me, I don't talk work-related cases with anyone, not even my wife, that I'll be talking to her. And if you wanted us to have a sound relationship, my work is off limits. We don't talk about it, my cases. After that...
my apologies. And when this happens, the only thing he was able to get out was that he had a friend and he just wanted to know if bail would be opposed and that he'd be willing to pay the bail. That's all he said. That's as far as he could get before you stopped him.
Yes, Advocate. Remember, he earlier on expatiated on how he grew up with friends. You know how we grew up at school and what. When I do recollection now, I think when he was telling me his upbringing, he told me that he had friends and what. So when he come to this, it crossed my mind that, oh, maybe the friend stories was about to tell me this. Then I said, no, sir. I don't talk cases that I'm involved with any other person except, not even my wife, except at my workplace. We don't talk about my work. So he did not come to mention the name of the friend yet. But back in my mind, it was that when he is about to talk about cases that I'm involved in, then it will not be right for me to talk about it with him. and I don't know him. It's the first time I meet him.
I guess, Brigadier, what I'm trying to get a sense of is, was it as vague as you recall the discussion about the arrested friend?
It was not. It was not that vague because I was not thinking of anything big, but I was just thinking that if you're coming to talk about the case that I'm involved, where your friend was arrested and was arrested by me, and you need some bail, I don't talk about that.
And just on your answer, so you understood him to be raising it because this is a case you are involved in?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Brigadier.
Thanks, Advocate. Should I continue on paragraph 28?
Yes.
After that meeting, Fundiswa contacted me to inquire how the meeting had gone. I informed her in general terms that the meeting was cordial and that we had discussed various personal matters, including my approaching to the retirement. A few days later, I attended a social gathering, which is, we call it a stockfell, with my colleagues in the subs. The gathering was attended mainly by the police officers that we normally come together, including Sergeant Lebogang Tsukudu. Tsukudi and I have been friends since around 2017. I beg your pardon. We often discuss both professional and personal matters, and we attend social gatherings together. During the stockfell, Sergeant Tsukudu and the colleagues mentioned that they were around my area of work, which is in the Sidibeng district, escorting suspects to and from court. And they quoted the suspect, amongst the suspect that they were escorting, there was a police officer suspect. That police officer suspect, whom we got to know, that is Michael Puletao. As the conversation went on, it triggered my mind that they are talking about the case that my brother-in-law Katiso was intending to lure me to assist him in the bail of this particular person.
Sorry. Can you please explain how you made the connection?
Commissioner Chair, these colleagues of mine, they are saying, Brigadier, we were around your vicinity. Now, we were escorting suspects of that case of Michael Puletao, that police officer, whom we normally discuss about those things when we are together. Then they said this Puletao was going for bail application. Now, the word bail application, it triggered my mind to say, Katiso spoke about bail application of a case that I've arrested his friend. So I put the puzzle together to say, oh, this is where Katiso was coming to.
I'm not beginning to probe at this stage. That will come at a much, much later stage. But I must say this, that I don't quite see any dots to connect there. I mean, as a police officer, I would imagine that there are lots and lots of cases that involved bail that you would have been involved in. So that's why I say I just don't see the dots that you would have been able to connect.
I acknowledge, Commissioner. However,
So if you acknowledge that, how then did you come to relate this to what Mr. Mulife had raised with you?
Commissioner, obviously, when now I'm alone, after parting ways with Katiso, I asked myself, which case was this guy wanting to talk about? And I could only imagine of a case that happened recently is of that Michael Puletau.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Should I continue, Advocate?
Yes. So you just recalled your earlier conversation with Katiso when he asked you about a bail and an unnamed friend. So line 4 of paragraph 30.
Oh, okay.
I then said to Tsukudu.
I then said to Tsukudu and them, because we were all with those other friends, without instruction or request. Kune autis barasam, ne? There's a brother-in-law of mine who recently spoke about requested me to assist him with a bail. He did not mention who is this friend of him that I've arrested that is looking to get assistance with bail. And then I stopped him. And then I told him that I don't discuss work. I said this in just a general comment while we were sitting and drinking there. And just to align this case, because I said, oh man, this case actually is the one that Usbarwambe Kulmangayums. Yoguchi Upule, I mean, this guy is looking for a bail. So I dismissed him and said, hey, I don't talk work with this. And then they said, this guy you say is your brother-in-law, Usbarwa Kungitmina, yes, Usbarwa. So during the discussion, there were those things that Chukudu will say or some others will say, but why did you dismiss him before he told you? I said, no, that is not what I do with people that I don't know. The person that I've just met now then is talking about cases, and that is unethical for me. Then I dismissed him. He said, but he's your relative, Mos. I said, yeah, but still I cannot. And he said, but we think if you were able to, you should help him. He said, you can help him. Mina, I don't go that route. I can't help him. I cannot, even if he's a family, I cannot help him.
Sorry, Brigadier, just to clarify a few things there. So at the top of the paragraph, when you say my office, you want us to consider that your work vicinity?
Yes.
Not necessarily your office?
Yes.
And then if you look at where you say, I then said to Tsukudu, you want us to then say, I said to the broader group, not just to Sergeant Tsukudu?
Yeah, because we were a team
All
of
together.
people. Yes.
And then where you say you said to them, someone asked me recently, you want us to change that someone to my brother-in-law?
Yes.
And so you clarified to this group that the person who asked you was your brother-in-law.
Exactly, Advocate.
And then you just said in passing that if they want to help them, you can, but you won't. Can you just clarify what you meant there?
No, Advocate, there were when we were discussing, you know, in a social gathering when you have casual talk. Now, the other one will be saying, Mara, you are not fair, bro. Askero keep brother, Kiswara Saham Tago. Wow, some tools. Some tools when I am tools. You know, just a general comment. Like we will be in a social gathering, if I may make an example, advocate. We will be gathering and as boys will always be boys. And then we'll be sitting there and then this one will be saying, hey man, Braibi, do take and low, I want to pay here, man, niggas a chance. To me, it's not my liking. If when it's your liking, you can go for her. You understand? So
Oh,
it's
okay.
in that text. Yeah.
Okay, understood. You can
So
then,
or rather colloquially, you would be shooting crap colloquially.
Much as I'm not sure
What this means.
but I think it sounds like it is like that.
thank you, Brigadier. You can then move on to paragraph 31.
In paragraph 31, Advocate, I was later surprised to learn that Tsukudu had approached witness B about Tao's case. I never asked him to do so. I never asked him to convey any message to witness B, whether about opposing bail or about thanking her, as I've alluded in the above paragraph, how it happened. If Tsukudu told witness B or anyone else that I sent him, he did so with his own accord. It was not with my knowledge nor my permission that he is going to consult with witness B. I deny that I attempted to interfere improperly in the bail proceedings of Tao. I specifically deny that I instructed or requested or authorized Sergeant Tsukudu to contact witness B or any other person regarding Tao's bail. I did not ask Tsukudu to find out whether the state will oppose bail. I did not ask him to plead for bail. I did not ask him to pass any thank you message to witness B after Tao was granted bail. I acknowledge that I mentioned my conversation with Katiso to Tsukudu in a social gathering. And I must say, commissioners, that like I've presented my trajectory in the police, I've had 26 years as a detective investigating officer and a commander, not to know how bail is granted. I wouldn't have sent a sergeant to go and talk to a sergeant to request for bail or ask anything about a case or a bail. In my 26 years as a detective, I can tell that I'm very much experienced and I know what is the process and the procedure of granting bail. And this I can say vividly in terms of section 60, I think subsection 11, that talks to the prerogative that falls within the ambit of the presiding officer to issue bail. It is not the decision of the investigating officer nor any other person or no, the prosecutor, but the presiding officer on the day. Even if the state does not oppose bail, it's still the prerogative of the presiding officer to grant bail. And I've known this for years, So I find it very sinister that I will send at my level a sergeant to go and talk to another sergeant looking for a bail. I know of, prosecutors, and I know of magistrates in my work environment. I know of the commanders of this organized crime. I worked with them, they're my colleagues. If I wanted to do something like that, perhaps I could have just gone to those relevant people to try and discuss this with them. I never did that. My mistake perhaps is to talk to my Stockfell members about this case.
Brigadier Nkwashu, because you've started mentioning Officer Tau, did you know him before the issue of the bail? Did you know Officer Tau?
Commissioner Kumalo, thanks. I never knew Officer Tau, and I don't know Officer Tau. I've never seen him until this media flagged his photos during these proceedings.
And then Sergeant Tukudu, did he know Mr. Katiso Molefe before this discussion you had with him?
Commissioner Kumal, I wouldn't know. But I really don't know.
Did he give you that impression in the Stockfell as you were discussing that your brother-in-law had mentioned a case to you? Did you get the impression from Sergeant Tukudu that he knew who you were talking about?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Let me take you back to paragraph 30 on a very minor matter. The very last sentence there.
I beg your pardon?
Paragraph 30.
30.
Page,
Thank you, Commissioner.
yeah. The last sentence there. I find your use of any in the sentence confusing. You say, I was surprised later to learn I understand to be Tsukudu, took any action. Did you want to say he took some action?
Correct, Chair. I wanted to say...
And of course, you then go on to state what the action was immediately thereafter. So he took some action. Yeah, the any is confusing, as I say.
I agree, Commissioner Chair, perhaps even to add that some action on my behalf.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
Brigadier, before you move from that paragraph 30, in your interaction with Commissioner Kumalo, he asked you whether Sergeant Sugudu knew Mr. Molefe. You'll see there, I think it's towards the end of the third line from the bottom. You say there, I did not mention Katiso's name.
Correct, Advocate.
So when you were having this conversation with the other police officers, you never mentioned Mr. Molefe's name?
I never mentioned it. I just said the auto Suarasaka. I never mentioned the name. He wanted to talk about this thing, and then I stopped him. So I never mentioned the name of Suarasaka when they intercepted.
All right, thank you. We can then go back to you have dealt in some part with paragraph 36, where you were relaying to the commissioners that based on your experience, you wouldn't have taken that action. If I can just ask you to read from line line 6 of paragraph 36.
Okay, Commissioner, I'm with you. It starts with, as an experienced investigating officer of 26 years, I know that interfering in such a bail application or even attempting to obtain confidential information about whether the state will oppose is a serious offense. Should I continue?
Yes, please.
I will never put my 39-year career and my freedom at risk for a man I just met, just yesterday, who was married to my sister-in-law. Can I expatiate?
Yes, you can finish
Yeah,
that section.
thanks, Advocate. Furthermore, the fact that the state opposed bail and the court nevertheless granted bail shows that the court made an independent decision. I had no role in that decision. I did not speak to the prosecutor, nor the magistrate, or the investigating officer. I don't even know the investigating officer until this date. I did not write any letter or make any call in support of this bail. So I was just emphasizing that I can't do that, risking my hard-worked service.
And then just to clarify, Brigadier, you say that it's not in your statement, but you just said it in amplification. You didn't know the investigating officer. You said you didn't know until when?
Up to date,
To date, you don't know the
I
investigating
don't know
officer.
the investigating officer. I've never met her, I've never seen her.
So even then, you wouldn't have known who that investigating officer was?
I wouldn't.
Thank you. And do you want to read paragraph 38 into the record?
Thank you, Advocate. I have at all times acted lawfully in accordance with the SAPS policies and the Criminal Procedure Act. Should I continue?
Thank you. You can then deal with the next section that deals with your response to the allegation that you demanded the Armand Swart murder docket.
Thank you, Commissioners. On paragraph 39, I mentioned that I never demanded the Armand Swart murder docket for any personal interest or improper purpose. At the relevant time, I was acting on instruction from the Provincial Commissioner to collect all case dockets that had J50 warrants of arrest and to submit them to the Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Detective Services, Major General Mbuso Kumado.
Brigadier, just before you move off of that, who is the provincial commissioner you're talking about there?
The Provincial Commissioner of Gauteng is none other than Lieutenant General Mtombeni.
Thank you.
Major General Kumalo was to oversee those investigations as directed by the Premier of Gauteng, Mr. Panyazal Sufi. The instructions was not limited to the Katiso case. It applied to many dockets from all 5 districts within the Gauteng province. After receiving the instructions, I sent out to the detective commanders concerned, calling for the dockets as per instructions. I received all the dockets but 2. I thereafter inquired about the dockets. I immediately thereafter, I received a call from witness B inquiring that she is advised by Colonel Grendling that I was looking for 2 dockets. I confirmed that indeed I was looking for the dockets and that the dockets are being requested by the Provincial Commissioner and I needed to deliver all of them to him. She responded by stating that unfortunately she was not able to provide me with one of the dockets as she did not have the docket with her, as that docket was taken by the DPP. The DPP meaning the Director of Public Prosecution. I responded by stating that that was not a problem. If the docket was with the DPP, I then requested that she send me a report via email stating what she is telling me so that I can attach it to the report that we'll be sending to the provincial office. As soon as I,
Sorry, Brigadier, how would you have known that there were 2 dockets missing?
Commissioner, I was having a list of these dockets. The entire list of Sidibeng was having 23 dockets. And then 11 dockets were submitted at some stage. Then the outstanding 12 dockets, that's when the provincial commissioner instructed the district commissioners to get the outstanding dockets to be submitted as per instruction. And that instruction was given that it must be obtained within 7 days. Then I've given this instruction to my detective branch commanders, who are the commanders of all the stations where the dockets are assigned to or being investigated from. So those detective commanders, they were keeping me posted as to which docket is outstanding. And it came to my attention that this particular docket, which witness B was talking about or was investigating, was not submitted because she was not having it. And another docket, which was investigated by someone else in another station, because they were from different stations within the district.
So you had a list, and
I had a list.
From that list you could see that you didn't receive all the dockets?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Should I continue, Advocate?
Yes, please.
I responded by stating that that was not a problem if the docket was with the DPP. I then requested that she send me a report via email to that effect so that I can attach it and send it to the provincial office. As soon as I put the call down, I became curious as to who the docket belonged to. I looked at the case number and remembered that it was for the arrest that happened in April. I immediately called witness B, informed her I actually do not want that docket as Ngi suspect into that particular matter. It is important at this juncture, commissioners, to pause and explain to the honorable commissioners why I stated that Ngi suspect. I said Ngi suspect not because I believed I had done anything wrong, but because I was informed previously that my name was being mentioned in connection with the Tau matter and I was under investigation. I wanted to avoid any appearance or any conflict of interest. I therefore stepped away from handling that specific docket, and I informed witness B accordingly that even when that docket come back from the DPP, she must just take it direct to the provincial commissioner's office and not me. I simply recused myself from handling that docket because I knew I was under investigation. Furthermore, after the arrest of the 3 suspects in the Armand Swart murder, the docket, the very same docket we were talking about, was transferred to the organized crime unit at the provincial headquarters where witness B is working. If I had any personal interest in the docket, I would have kept it in my district where I had command and control of this particular docket. I did not do so because I never had any interest on that particular docket. So for me, that fact alone shows that I had no improper motive to call that particular docket, and the instruction was not coming from me. I had nothing to do with the case in question.
This instruction, was it in writing? The instruction to you by your superior? You said it's Colonel Gunding, I think.
Yes, Commissioner Kumalo, what happened here is that the instruction, I will say yes, it was in writing, but it originally was given at the top management meeting of the province, where the district commissioners are attending every Monday. And during that meeting, the district commissioners were given this instruction. And while the district commissioners are given that instruction, we usually distribute this instruction to the to our subordinate commanders to activate or to implement. And it was followed by an email to all the districts. Those emails, when it arrives at the district commissioner, it becomes an instruction in writing. That's why I'm saying it was in writing, because we managed to forward it to the relevant commanders to implement.
Just to correct myself, I said Colonel Grundling. The instruction I'm referring to is in paragraph 40 of your statement. So because you are saying there at the relevant time, I was acting on the instructions from the provincial commissioner to collect all case dockets. Do you see that one?
Yes, Commissioner.
Was that instruction given to you in writing?
No, Commissioner, it was not given to me in writing. It was given to all the district commissioners via email and also verbally from the top management meeting.
Commissioner Kumal, just to be of assistance on this point, Brigadier had indicated in the course of preparations that he was unable to obtain his emails, and so we did write to the Provincial Commissioner's office at CJC 192 is the response, and you'll see there that the email that the Brigadier is talking about to the various districts is page 29. It's under tab A. It's one of the annexures to the letter that the Provincial Commissioner provided us. Yes, page 39. And then just to make sure, Brigadier Nkwashu, if you can go to page 39, so under tab 4.
Under tab 4.
Yes.
I'm there.
Yeah, you'll see that on page 39, it's all the emails that that email was sent to Nsidibeng District Commissioners, one of the recipients. And on the following page is the actual email.
Yes, Commissioner.
And the attachment is page 41. And the list of dockets is tab B from page 43. You'll see there's various.
Correct,
lists.
Advocate.
Is this now the instruction you're talking about? Is this the correspondence you're referring to?
Exactly, Advocate. You will see it's also talking to that 7 days I was alluding to.
All right, thank you.
And I'm assuming the number 23 for District Citibank is that 2.4 on page 41.
Correct.
So when you were saying there were 23 Citibank
in
dockets.
total, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Malo.
The decision to have this docket transferred to organized crime, who made that decision and why is that decision made?
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. During that period when this incident happened, I was the acting district commissioner, and the decision to transfer this docket was solely on my shoulders. So I authorized the transfer of this particular docket to the provincial aid office.
Thank you for that. Can you just explain how it works? Brigadier, this incident happened in your jurisdiction, your geographic jurisdiction, the killing of Mr. Aman Swart, as I understand it. And then
Correct.
people get arrested at different places. Someone, I think, is arrested not too far from where the incident happened, and then other people outside of jurisdiction. That the docket belongs to your jurisdiction, what informs that?
Thank you, Commissioner. What informed the custody of case docket is the area where the incident took place. The original or the initial incident that led to that crime took place. And in this instance, it took place within my jurisdiction, which is Vereeniging.
And the investigator would necessarily come from your jurisdiction?
100%, Commissioner. All the cases that were generated within my jurisdiction, it will be investigated within my jurisdiction, not unless there is a mandate that is given to external units. External units, I'm talking to units such as the independent, the IP, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, and also this organized crime and other units, similar units. Depending on their mandate, some, for an example, the serious and violent unit that at the provincial head office will be having a mandate to investigate cases where more than one murder has taken place. Or perhaps I should make a very common example, like the PKTT. They will be having that mandate to take this docket from my district, and they go investigate it by virtue of the mandate that they have. But still, having made an example of the PKTT, you will recall that Lieutenant General Mkwanazi said the dockets that were taken from his province, he did not know about it, if I'm correct. So, in this instance, I knew about the transfer of this particular docket. I authorized it. Thank you, Commissioner.
Maybe just lastly, again, it's just to try and understand how it works. If the docket would have originally been yours, within your jurisdiction, from what you're explaining, because the incident occurred in your jurisdiction. In your explanation, you've said that you never knew who the investigator was the investigating officer was. Now, if the docket is within your jurisdiction, can you just explain how it works that explains that you wouldn't have known who the investigator is?
Thank you, Commissioner. The docket flow from the time it is reported at the police station is that it will obviously get a serial number, which will get to know it as a case number. Then, when it has got the case number, then it will be registered in the system and be assigned to the detective component. Remember, it is registered at the CSC. The CSC stands for Community Service Center. After that, registering those dockets, the custody of, or rather the mandate of investigating any case registered it falls with the detectives. Then the CSC is at the uniform or the visible policing environment. Then it will be transferred from the visible policing environment to the detective environment. And the commander of that particular detective unit will sign for that particular docket. And that commander will be mostly the most senior position who are commanders at that level. They are colonels. That is one rank below me, and or even lieutenant colonels in the absence of colonels. Then the colonel will then assign that particular docket for investigation to an investigating officer, who mostly are non-commissioned officers. Non-commissioned officers, Commissioner, I'm referring to the lower ranks, which is a warrant officer and below. Now, when the investigating officer receives that particular docket, he signed for that particular docket, and after signing for that particular docket in the system, which we call it a case control system, the investigating officer is now responsible for that particular docket. He or she is the sole responsible person for that particular investigation. And the accountability on that particular docket, it will now be with the commander of the investigating officer. Now, this is how the docket are moved from the inception to the latter.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Brigadier, just to follow up on that, you spoke about an authorization for the transfer. Is this done in writing, or is this just a verbal authorization for the transfer of the docket to Gauteng organized crime?
The docket, the transfer could not necessarily be done in writing, but when the docket is registered in the system, say it is registered in my name in Sidibeng district, and it has to be transferred to Joburg organized crime. Remember, it is in the system of Sidibeng. Now, when we transfer it in the system. Then it must be received in the system that will indicate overall on the national system that this docket has now been moved to Sidibeng, even if it's not done in writing. Because some are done in writing, some are not done in writing. After the inception, this, if it is their mandate, these units that I'm talking about, you will see them arrive in the community service center, and they say, we are from organized crime, we are coming to collect this docket, or from serious and violent crime unit, we are coming to collect this docket by virtue of us having the mandate to investigate it, not you at the local station.
And so for this docket in particular, what happened is that you authorized a transfer. It is not that organized crime came in and took the docket because it fell within their mandate. It was a specific transfer.
They requested it.
So they requested it
Yeah, they requested it.
from the community service station.
Yes.
And when does the authorization then happen? When are you notified of that transfer?
On the very same day that they requested it, I think it was the Commissioner Chair who asked me the question of, if my memory says me well, of when the jurisdiction is of, is not your jurisdiction. By virtue of them having arrested this
I will
suspect.
not take credit. It was Commissioner Malloy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Waloye. Thank you, Commissioner Chair. Pardon,
I'm sorry, I'm very sorry for distracting you.
Commissioner, it's fine.
Please take your time and think.
Yeah, I was saying when the suspects were arrested, they were arrested outside my jurisdiction.
Yes.
And they were arrested somewhere in Joburg jurisdiction in Bramley, to be specific. And the investigating officer who were dealing with the crime scene there, they phoned in and they say they want to request that they sign for the docket because they have established from the crime scene that this falls within their mandate by virtue of them getting the weapons that were used to kill the deceased, and they are linking the weapons with other crimes that are falling outside my jurisdiction. So having explained this to the colonel who was in charge of the crime scene at Vereeniging, where Armand Swart was killed, because this thing happens on the very same day.
Yes.
Yeah, and the colonel phoned me because in any way they couldn't have authorized to move the docket without my authority. Then they phoned me and they explained me the story. Then I said to the colonel, let them take the docket, it's fine, as long as they're going to do the normal procedure, which is to register it in the system at Vereeniging so that it can reflect that it is initially Vereeniging case. Then, thereafter, they sign for it in the system so that we can know where the docket is.
All right. And thereafter, they then become the custodian of that docket?
Yeah, they become the custodian of that particular docket, yes.
Thank you, Brigadier. Chair.
Before you, maybe let me ask a question for clarification. You say in that paragraph 46 that if you had a personal interest in the docket, you would have kept it. In this discussion with Ms. Bowe, you say that the docket was requested. Again, it's a question about me trying to understand how it works. Could you, in the way that things work within the SAPS, do you have the capacity or the standing to refuse to hand over a docket? Could you have said, no, I'm not giving up this docket? When I say could you have, I'm asking a systemic question rather than your personal interest in it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Excuse. True. As the district commissioner, you've got the prerogative to deny the docket being transferred to any unit, provided you can justify your denial. It happens that we refuse to let the docket go to any other unit, but it must be with justification.
Thank you.
Let us adjourn and resume at 20 to 12. Let's adjourn.
It's 11:39. We are ready to resume. Please make sure your phones are off. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Bowe.
Thank you, Chair. Brigadier, just before we move to the next topic in your statement, sorry, I wanted to ask you in terms of the issue we're dealing with regarding docket registration at a particular station. So let's take this case, for example. On the date of the murder, there would have been a vereniging team assigned to go to the scene, correct?
Correct, Advocate.
And are those the people that will then come back to the community service station to register the docket or a docket?
Correct, Advocate.
And once it's on that system, are those that go to the scene and register the docket immediately assigned, or there's a follow-up process to then assign an investigating officer?
There is a follow-up process, Advocate.
So in this instance, was there a team assigned to, an IO assigned to the docket?
Not,
I mean, at the point of registration, post-registration, before the Gauteng organized team comes to play and requests the docket.
perhaps I should ask you to repeat that one. I think I missed it a little bit.
No worries. So you have explained to us now that a team would have gone on to the scene. They would have come back and registered a docket at the community service station. Then you say after that, there would be a process of assigning an investigating officer. My question is, was an investigating officer assigned at that point before the Gauteng organized crime team comes to request the docket?
No, thanks, Advocate. Now I'm content with your question. No, it was not yet assigned.
All right, and is that then the reason why you wouldn't have known an investigating officer for that case because one hadn't been assigned yet?
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
No, please continue, Ms. Bowen.
Yes, I will do so. Then I'm going to move to the next topic if there aren't any questions. This is now section F, where you're dealing with your sister's request and attempt to deliver close to the prison.
Okay, Advocate. On 6 December 2024, I learned from Fundiswa that Katiso had been arrested. I was shocked and asked what the charge was. She said she did not know. On 9 December 2024, Katiso appeared in Vereeniging Magistrate Court. I was at work and did not attend to that court session. Fundiswa attended the court proceedings. After court, I think between 1300 hours and 1400 hours, she came to my office and told me that the case had been postponed for a bail application and that Katiso had been sent to a government prison, which is Groenpend. She said she was unable to give him clothes and food, and she asked me to assist in doing that. I immediately contacted the area commissioner who was known to me at that point as Mr. Mkalipi. His name is Obet Mkalipi, to inquire whether Mr. Mlife had been admitted at that facility so that basic personal clothing could be delivered to him. Mr. Mkalipi initially indicated that Groenpen does not ordinarily house awaiting trial prisoners or detainees, and that there was no inmate recorded under that name in that facility. I informed him that I've just been informed that the court has adjourned and they sent Katiso there. So it could be that you haven't seen it yet because it's not a thing that happened long. Mr. Mkalipi undertook to verify my request and my information that I was giving him. And thereafter, he came back to me within a short while to confirm that Mr. Molefe is indeed in the facility registers. I then explained that Mr. Molefe is my brother-in-law and that his family wished to deliver clean clothing and food for him. Mr. Mkalipi advised that I could come to the facility, subject to the applicable admission and security procedures. I was unable to attend immediately as I was on duty. After completing my official duties in my office, I proceeded to Groenpen Correctional Services, where upon arrival I identified myself to the prison warder at the gate, and I explained to him the purpose of my visit, namely to deliver clothing to Mr. Molefe and the food. I was informed that the area commissioner, Mr. Mkalipi, has just left the facility. I missed him with few minutes. I thereafter contacted Mr. Mkalipi telephonically, and he referred me to an official whom he named Mr. Ntlapo for further assistance after speaking to the correctional service warder that was assisting me at the main gate. The gentleman took me to Mr. Ntlapo at the maximum C section. And when we arrived at Mr. Ntlapo's office, Mr. Ntlapo was not available, and I waited for a short period before he attended to me. And during the waiting, the officials that were escorting me took me to another official, whom I did not get the name, but she was having the rank structures on her shoulder. And then that person took me, asked me what I was there for, and I explained to her. And then she took me to the office of Mr. Ntlapo, and as she was taking me back to Mr. Ntlapo's office, we met Mr. Ntlapo on the passage, and Mr. Ntlapo then asked me what I was there for. Then I explained to him. Then he told me that it is late after hours and that he could not accept my food delivery to Katiso, and he will not allow me to see Katiso, but he will take the clothing and hand it over to Katiso. I complied fully with the instructions and did not seek any deviation from the applicable rules. I thereafter handed over the clothing and I left the facility. I deny that I attempted to interfere in any manner. My conduct was limited to assisting my sister by facilitating the delivery of the clothing to her husband while he was in custody. This was a personal and humanitarian act. I did not discuss the merits of the case with any official, nor did I request or expect any preferential treatment or deviation from established procedures in favor of Mr. Molefe.
Thank you, Brigadier. And then you can deal with the allegations related to the number plate.
Thank you, Advocate. The allegation of removing number plate, commissioners, it has been alleged that I removed the number plates of the car I was driving to conceal my identity when I went to Groenpunt prison. I deny these allegations because it did not happen. I could not conceal my identity after having spoken to the area commissioner and identified myself. When I arrived at the gate to the officials there, I also identified myself. I signed the access register using my full names and as they appear in my identity card. And my visit was recorded. It will be upset to remove registration plates after openly identifying myself to both the officials. The truth is that my car was new at the time and had not yet been issued with a formal registration plate. It was fitted with a temporary permit, which is in accordance with the Road Traffic Ordinance Act. And this permit was issued from the dealership where I bought this particular vehicle, which is Omas Motors situated in Meyerton, Vereeniging. I do not personally affix or remove number plates in my cars, but the dealership, they are responsible for that.
Brigadier, just before you move on, do you recall when this new car was purchased?
Yes, Advocate, I purchased this vehicle during October.
Thank you. You can then deal with the,
October of what? The previous year? Which October?
Commissioner Chair, I think it was in October 2024.
so this would have been just 2 months before his arrest, so, because this is now, we're dealing with December when this visit happens.
Correct, Advocate.
Right, 2024. Now you can move to general denial of misconduct and suspension grounds.
Thank you. Commissioners, I've been informed that the interim report of this commission dated the 17th of December, accepted by the President on the 29th January 2026, allegedly lists my name as a member whose conduct justifies immediate investigation. Specifically, I deny that I have aided or abated any criminal activity or failed to act on credible intelligence or internal warnings, or benefited financially or politically from any criminal syndicate. I did not. I've dedicated my career to the South African Police Service, and I've acted with integrity. I'm being prejudiced by allegations that are vague and not yet tested.
You can proceed to deal with your conclusion.
As I conclude on this matter, Advocate, I deny any wrongdoing whatsoever in this regard. I'm willing to cooperate with the Commission's legitimate inquiries to the extent that such cooperation does not infringe upon my rights to a fair process and my right against self-incrimination. I request that the Commission make a finding that there is no basis for the allegation made against me, and that the SAPS immediately withdraw my suspensions proceedings against me, because I'm not the criminal that the media suggests.
Thank you, Brigadier. Brigadier, we're going to move to your supplementary statement. Commissioners, during the tea adjournment, we agreed that there is quite a bit of repetition in the supplementary. So what we're going to try to do is I'm going to direct Brigadier to the relevant paragraphs that are new for him to deal with those. And to the extent that there may have been a paragraph that I skipped that he wishes to place on record, he can do so. And then just to place it on record that during the process of preparing for his testimony, we did agree that a supplementary affidavit be filed. So that's the first part of the supplementary statement. So, Brigadier, I propose that we start at section B. And just to say that in sum, you've noted in the statement that you wish to deal with 4 points. That's the second visit to Mr. Molefe that happened in February 2025. You want to deal with the White House. You want to deal with a proper procedure for handling dockets within SAPS and the instruction received from the Provincial Commissioner, as well as the Ford Raptor that was driven by your sister, Ms. Nyangule. So 12.3 being handling of dockets will only deal with specific parts of it because you've covered most of it in your main statement. So if you can start with paragraph 14 at page 21 of your supplementary statement.
Thank you, Commissioners. Advocate, you said page 31.
No, page 21,
21.
where you deal with your second visit to Groenpoint.
Thank you, Commissioners. I deal with each of these issues in detail below. My second visit to Groenpoint prison, which took place during February. My main statement recorded my first visit to Groenpoint Correctional Center on 9 December 2024. I failed to mention a second visit that took place in or about February 2025. I acknowledge that this was an omission. I wish to explain why it occurred, although I've explained it in my introductory paragraphs at the beginning. The pressure that I was subjected to. The summons and the evidence presented to the Commission focused exclusively on the visit during
Brigadier.
December.
Paragraph 15, unless you want to read it into the record, just explains why you hadn't mentioned the second visit. The commissioners have read that. Unless you want to place it on record, I would suggest that you start at paragraph 17, where you deal with the actual visit.
Oh, thank you very much, Advocate. I've got no problem. On paragraph 17, I took annual leave during December 2024 and I traveled for a holiday. I returned home in the second week of January 2025. After my return, I was on sick leave for a period due to physical pains and stress that I was enduring. In February 2025, while I was still on leave, my sister Fundiswa Nyangule, who I explained as the wife of Mr. Katiso Molefe in the main statement, contacted me. She informed me that she was coming to Gauteng to visit her husband in prison. She told me that her own vehicle had mechanical problems and it was not available. She asked if I could fetch her from the airport because she was coming from Durban, where she is residing. And I agreed and I went to the airport and picked her up. We drove together to Groenpoint prison, and on arrival, we followed the normal procedures of identifying ourselves at the gate, and we produced our identity card, which is our ID cards, and then the prison officials, they gave us a register to sign, and we were permitted to get in and see Katiso.
Brigadier, just before you move too far from this, at paragraph 20, you mentioned that Ms. Nyangule was coming to Gauteng. Do you have a sense of when did she move to Durban? Because in the in your first statement, you talked about how she was first residing with you and your wife, and then she moved in with your wife's brother at the time. But there isn't an indication then when she moved.
I don't have that information as to when did she move to Durban with the husband.
Thank you. You can continue.
Okay, thank you very much.
You were at
Advocate.
paragraph
23.
23.
Thank you very much, Advocate. I was not given any preferential treatment. I waited my turn. I complied with the security checks. I wish to state clearly and unequivocally that I followed the procedures like any other person. I did not visit Katiso to interfere with any investigation. I did not use my rank to gain improper access. I was there primarily to drive my sister, who was the lawful visitor. Once I was told that I could see Katiso, I did so as a family member, not as a police officer. Should I continue?
Yes, you can.
The next paragraph will be talking to the White House, its nature and complete denial of a corrupt association. I have become aware through the media reports and through the evidence presented to this commission that a place called the White House, located in Northcliffe, which has been described as a hub for corrupt activities involving senior subs officials, politicians, and organized crime figures. I wish to inform the Commission that I've been to the White House on several occasions. I'm not denying that. The White House is a private property that was used from time to time for social gatherings by colleagues from the South subs. Beg your pardon, Commissioners.
Brigadier, just before you moved, just for the record, the White House, is that the Northcliffe Hotel?
Correct, Advocate.
All right, thank you.
The gatherings at the White House were ordinarily arranged by colleagues or our colleague, Major General Richard Shibiru, who appeared before this commission. Commissioners, to the best of my knowledge, the purpose of these social gatherings was very innocent and was very lawful, according to me. It was ordinarily to bring camaraderie, which is a friendship and a close relationship, to foster those working relationships and to distress after work with officers from different units and who are within the organization. Of course, we will from time to time be having some of the civilians in the likes of the owner of the boutique hotel after being introduced to us as the owner. That is to the best of my knowledge, and the gatherings were not secret at all.
Sorry, Brigadier. So are you saying that generally the only civilian would have been the owner in your knowledge?
Yeah, it will be advocated the owner and the partner to the owner who was preparing us drinks and food, and perhaps the other guys that are working in that particular institution, but we were not sitting with them where we were sitting.
So for the purpose of the socialization and socializing and the talking, it was mainly police officers.
Correct, Advocate.
And you say they were arranged by General Shibiri. Was it him who was doing the general inviting, or any one of you could invite any police officer you wanted?
Can I ask Advocate to repeat that question?
At paragraph 25.3, you indicated that the gatherings were ordinarily arranged by your colleague, General Shibiri. And then in the next paragraph, you talk about how it was used to build camaraderie and foster closer working relationships. So my question was related to invitees, how police officers would get invited. Was it General Shibiri who would be doing the inviting, or any and all the police officers there could invite anyone as they pleased? Well, any police officer.
Thanks, Advocate. I will not know who are doing the invites to the attendees, but all I know is that General Shiviri was the one who was inviting me and General Mtombeni, because in all times, when I have to go there, I will have to speak to General Shiviri to say we can come, because he was the one who was arranging, and he's the one who introduced us to the owner. So as for the others, I've never known how they got invited and by who.
Thank you, Brigadier. You were dealing with paragraph 25.5.
Thank you, Advocate. The gatherings were not secret, as I've alluded. Many officers attended and we held general discussions. There was no discussion of ongoing criminal investigation in a manner that could compromise the administration of justice, at least not in my presence, if there were any. I'm aware that the White House is suggested to be a place where corruption occurs. I'm also aware that the investigating officer, Witness B, may have attended some of these social gatherings, because I got it, I started getting to know it from this commission when General Shibiri was testifying and when the Witness B was also testifying. I have served as an investigating officer, commissioners, like I've alluded earlier on in my testimony, for 26 years.
My apologies, Brigadier, this is my fault. So for this section, paragraphs 27 and 28, you have already dealt with, unless there's something there that you want to emphasize. What's new is at paragraph 28.4, where you deal with system changes because of a complaint.
Thank you, Advocate. In paragraph 28.4, I was explaining that the investigating officers signed for the docket, as I've alluded earlier on in the system, confirming physical receipt of that particular docket. From that moment, the IO becomes the sole custodian and the possessor of that particular docket, meaning he or she is in full control of that particular docket. The docket is under the IO's exclusive control and responsibility, and if it happens that the complainant is unhappy with the progress of the investigation, they may lodge a complaint. The complaint registered with the complaint will then be registered with the commander at the CSC, and then the complaint file will then be booked to a commissioned officer to investigate the complaint against the police. And the commander may call the IO to our account and may escalate the matter to higher levels if necessary. Complaints can escalate to the district commissioner, can be escalated to the district commissioners, the provincial commissioners, even to the minister of the police, and notwithstanding any other a person who is in a commanding position, such as the premiers and associates. If a complaint comes from a higher level, such as the premier or the minister, the provincial commissioner may issue a lawful instruction to district commissioners to take certain steps, including requesting those dockets for review or reassignment. The government of Gauteng raised concerns about certain criminal investigations, including the Armand Swart murder case. A complaint was lodged with the South African Police Service Provincial Commissioner, General Mtombeni. General Mtombeni decided to instruct district commissioners, including me as acting district commissioner for Sedibeng, to collect all dockets that had J50 warrants of arrest and to deliver them to the Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Detective Service, which is Major General Mbuso Kumalo, for oversight and review.
Brigadier, thank you. In this section, you have already taken the commission through the fact that the instruction was not limited and who you approached in executing the instruction. So unless there's something in paragraphs 28.7 until 28.11 that you want to emphasize, I'd propose for us to move to section E of your statement.
Thank you very much, Advocate.
Brigadier, can I just understand the sequence? So the incident happens, and on the day, as I've understood your discussion with Ms. Bowe, what happens is the officers that had attended, from your jurisdiction, that had attended the scene would have been the one that went to the CSC, that had gone there, and a docket gets created. At which point after that, and when I say point, I mean in terms of dates, so that I understand the sequence, at which point does that docket get transferred to organized crime?
Commissioner, there is no stipulated period. However, when the scene is processed.
No, sorry, maybe let me explain my question. I'm asking specifically in this case. So we know the incident happens on a date in April 17th. And then so CSC would have a docket. Someone goes to CSC and a docket gets opened on that day. But on the facts of this case, we know that at some point, the docket is transferred to organized crime. So I'm asking for a date when that happened.
Thank you, Commissioner. It happened the same day.
It was transferred to organized crime the same day.
Yes. Actually, Commissioner, perhaps I should answer you like this. I authorized it on the very same day, but I cannot confirm whether the capturing on the system was done the same day. It could have done the following day or time after, but the authority that the docket could be transferred to the provincial office organized crime was given the same day.
When the docket is transferred to organized crime, it's the physical docket. It means that physical docket is now with somebody else, and that somebody else is organized crime. Is that what it means?
Definitely, Commissioner.
Okay. So if that is so, when the provincial commissioner gives an instruction that causes you to have to get all the dockets, does it mean you now get the docket back from organized crime for purposes of complying with this instruction?
Perfectly so, Commissioner. Wherever the docket is, because of the fact that you remain actually accountable for the movement of the docket. Now, me being allow me to call it the custodian of,
The owner of the
the
docket.
owner of the docket.
Yes.
The provincial commissioner will not know that this docket is at the organized crime. What he sees is in the system that it is registered under Vereeniging, which is in Sedibeng district. Now, this docket registered in Sedibeng, he will give orders to the Sedibeng district commissioner to get him the docket.
Okay.
That is why I was saying earlier on, Commissioner, when I was speaking to witness B, that if that the docket is at the DPP, it is not a problem, as long as you can give a report in writing that the docket is at the DPP, and the report, we are going to send it with other dockets to the provincial commission,
Okay.
that the docket is not readily available. So we will be accounting as to where the docket is. If it answers your question, Commissioner.
So it remained a Sedibeng docket even though it is with organized crime? Is that? the sum of what you're
100%,
saying?
Commissioner, by virtue of it having the serial number that I spoke about, which is called the CAS number, it won't change that it was registered in Vereeniging. That is why it remained in Sedibeng.
Thank you. Thanks,
The
Brigadier.
language we have heard very often in this commission, Brigadier, is the station of origin. So where the docket was originally opened, that remains throughout the life of the docket. And the station of origin in this case was Vereeniging.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think you are my assistant in that regard. Thanks.
Thanks, Brigadier. If you can then go to paragraph 29.
Thank you, Advocate. Paragraph 29 talks to the Ford Raptor vehicle registered in my name. The evidence before the Commission includes an allegation that a Ford Raptor vehicle registered in my name was driven by Katiso's girlfriend, Fundiso, outside the Vereeniging Magistrate Court on the 5th of March 2025. I confirm that this allegation is true. The Ford Raptor vehicle was indeed my private vehicle that was driven by Fundiso on the day, and I purchased this particular vehicle lawfully for my eldest daughter, who was paying for it through me, since I'm the registered owner of this particular vehicle. I was not driving the vehicle on the 5th of March. I was not present at the court either in Vereeniging on that day. I borrowed this particular vehicle to Fundiswa, who is my sister. As I've explained in detail in my main statement, and that in this supplementary statement, I confirm that I treat Fundisa like my baby sister, so I will always assist her when she needs an assistance. I allowed Fundiswa to use this vehicle. She came to Gauteng to visit her husband in prison. She explained to me that she suspected people following her, and she was afraid to use her car because it's known. And I decided to give her the Ford Raptor vehicle because in any way, it has been sitting in the garage for quite some time without it being utilized. Should I continue, Advocate?
Just to make sure, so in February when she came, you accompanied her because then she had problems with her car. And then in March when she was going for this visit, her reason for approaching you for assistance was because she was being followed.
100% Advocate.
Thank you, Brigadier. Then the last section is the allegations that Mr. Molefe denied knowing you.
Thank you, Advocate. On paragraph 30, I alluded to the fact that the commission has evidence from the prison head, Mr. Nkoli, that on 10 December 2024, the day after my first visit in Groenpend, he interviewed Mr. Molefe and asked him whether he was related to me or not. According to Mr. Nkoli, Mr. Molefe said he was not my brother-in-law and did not know me as a relative. I beg your pardon. Commissioners, I cannot explain why Mr. Molefe will say he did not know me. I was not there when he was communicating with Mr. Nkoli. And I was not present. I don't know how they spoke. And I wouldn't really testify saying that Mr. Molefe denied knowing me. I disclosed openly to the prison officials on the 9th of December who am I, and I disclosed it in my main statement. And commissioners, I had clothes that has to be given to Katiso and the food. And the prison officials went to give Katiso the clothes, and he accepted it. And if he did not know me, according to my own perspective, why would he accept clothes coming from a person that you don't know? So I wouldn't know why he said he didn't know me.
Thank you, Brigadier. Brigadier, that completes your two statements. Is there anything else that you want to place on record?
Not much, commissioners, except to say that I feel very embarrassed to be associated with criminals, but not as a fault of anyone else but myself. And I'm putting it to the community that I'm accountable for in accordance with the constitution of this country, that I'm not a criminal. I don't associate with cartels and the so-called cartels. I don't. And I'm a police officer who served in the South African Police Service for 39 years almost. And I want to retain and leave the service ceremonially so in the next few months to come. I'm a proud police officer up until this stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brigadier.
Can he just complete that part? Sorry to do this, Brigadier. You say in the next few months. When is your retirement date?
Commissioner, at the end of July, I'll be on pension.
End of July this year?
Yes.
So 2 months, 3 months?
Yes, Commissioner.
You'll be turning 62. Why?
I'll be reaching the retirement age, Commissioner.
You are not a lady, Brigadier. You don't have to worry about those things. Unless this goes back to that boys' discussion, you don't want them to know how old you are. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner.
Brigadier, if we can go back to your first statement,
Is this
my
the
apologies.
beginning of the probing?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, all right. Just to alert the brigadier.
Oh,
Thank you, Commissioner.
yes, Chair. I learned from Chief Evidence Leader that we disclose when people must be wary of the questions. Although I don't think the Brigadier need to be wary of me. Brigadier, if we can go to your relationship with Ms. Nyangule, and just, I have a few questions to better understand how close you were. Now, earlier you testified that she was married to your wife's late brother, and that in the year 2000, your Mr., or you refer to him as Sazi. His surname is
Kuboni.
Kuboni.
Yes, advocate.
So Mr. Kuboni passes away in 2000, in the year 2000, and you then say that 2 days later, Ms. Nyangule's mother also passes away. Is this at this point where Ms. Nyangule's family had all unfortunately passed away, or were there other family members around this time?
During the passing of Sazi and the mother of Fundiswa, there were still siblings of Fundiswa. To my collection, I think there were 2 who were still alive. 2 or 3, I can't remember very well.
And do you recall when those siblings passed away?
No.
All right. And then on your wife's side, your, should I say, estranged wife's side, because you indicated that it was a separation.
Yes.
Did you you indicated that your wife had an older brother? Were there other siblings?
Yeah, there were other siblings who were the younger brother. Actually, there is a younger sister of my wife and a younger brother of my wife who was younger than Sazi.
And then in terms of the timeline that we've gone through, you say then that in 2001, the mourning period came to an end, and by 2005, Ms. Nyangule had started to see or had met Mr. Molefe.
I apologize, Advocate, to ask you to repeat that statement.
No worries. I'm trying to build a timeline of events. So you indicated that a year after your brother-in-law's passing, after the 1 year, so that would have been in 2001, that's when the mourning period came to an end. Thereafter, you said that in 2005, Ms. Nyangule then meets Mr. Molefe.
Advocate, I wouldn't know when did Fundiswa meet this Katiso. But what I know is that during 2005, Fundiswa came to us to come and tell us that I was still with my wife, I remember, that she met a guy. This guy wanted to marry her. And we sit down and interviewed her. That was in 2005. But as to when did they meet, I don't know.
All right. And when you say you interviewed her trying to understand who she was going to marry, what information did you ascertain from that process?
Commissioners, what I could remember, amongst others, is that we came to a question of her having to tell her the background of this particular guy that he has met. Do you know this particular person enough? He said yes, and it came to a time where she told us that this guy is a married man. Then that's when I get to differ with her on her intentions to marry this guy because of his marriage status.
And so your disapproval was registered much earlier than when the customary marriage happens, which is in 2022.
Correct, Advocate.
Okay, so then in 2022, you noted that the customary marriage happens. Now, how is your relationship between Fundiswa and yourself affected by the split with your wife, which you say happens in 2014?
Our relationship with Fundiswa, it was, let me say, in the absence of perhaps a suitable word, it was dented in that we did not finish the meeting with me on that day because I abandoned the meeting on the basis that we were not agreeing in terms, and I abandoned the meeting with the sole intention of convincing my wife, who was trying to say, "Yeah, but be reasonable, man." And what I said, "No, Mina, I don't go with that, not unless I'm convinced otherwise. But yeah, let me leave you with, and then we'll talk."
Are you referring to 2005 now?
Yes,
I
Commissioner.
think, Ms. Bowe, aren't you asking about 2014 onwards?
Yes.
Yes.
I apologize. Perhaps I missed the point.
Yes, so what I'm trying to understand, okay, so in 2005 you have this meeting, you leave on a bad note because you are of the view that it's not a good idea to marry somebody who's married. During that, between 2005 and 2021, in 2014, you separate from your wife.
Yes.
So I'm asking, given that the last time, at least that you mentioned, there was this meeting, it ended on a bad note. What happens in the intervening period is that you separate from your wife. What happens of your relationship with Ms. Nyangule at that stage?
Yeah, we're no longer having a solid relationship. However, the relationship was still there because we were talking over the phones, and she would call and check, and the wife will tell me that Fundisa called or Fundisa visited, and sometimes I will come home and find that Fundisa is there visiting, and she's sitting there, and then when I come out, we see one another, and it's like, but it was never like before.
Perhaps I'm not clear. So are you now describing your relationship post-2025 but pre-2014? That she used to come around and you'd find her talking to your wife would also tell you Fundisa was here, so it was strained but there was still a relationship.
Yeah, pre-2014,
Yes.
post-2005.
Yes.
Yes, but post-2014,
Yes.
we were just talking over the phone with Fundiswa. I never actually met her.
And do you recall what the frequency of those calls were?
It was not, I can tell that it was not many, it was maybe not even 4 times, but I cannot recall exactly, but I don't remember me talking to her perhaps more than 3 times over the phone, but we were talking.
3 or 4 times over that entire period.
Over that entire period,
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner.
So this is until 2021?
Until 2021.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then in 2021, you were told about the customary marriage.
Yes.
And at this time, had you warmed up to the idea of the marriage?
No.
And so were you testified that you were part of the negotiations, though?
Yes.
So now how does that come about?
For the negotiations that I think the brigadier said he participated in, Mr. Powe, was SARS's.
Oh, my apologies.
These, he had washed his hands and was quite mad about what was happening. Am I correct,
apologies,
Brigadier?
Thanks, yes.
Yes.
All right. So then, let's extend that period. So between 2021 and 2024, when Ms. Nyangule then calls you for that, to ask for a meeting, would the number of calls still be about 3 or 4?
No, obviously it's adding to those costs. Yeah.
So, so you've already told us that in that 7-year period, you had 3 or 4 calls. In the additional 3 years, can you give a guesstimate?
I really can't remember.
But you wouldn't say it was a lot. It sounds like,
Or there could not have been any at all.
yeah.
Between 2021 to 2024, I don't remember. I don't remember any.
You don't remember any?
Yeah.
So what you remember is that from 2014 to 2020, no, I want to go beyond, to 2024.
24, yes.
All that you remember is 3 to 4 calls. That's all you remember.
That's
Yes,
what
yes.
I think
Yes.
it could have happened.
Can we be more specific? Since what you say was the customary marriage between Mr. Molefe and Ms. Fundiswa Nyangule. So from the date of the customary marriage until this meeting in Alberton in 2024, had you spoken to her at all? So just cover the date from the customary marriage until when she wanted you to meet in June 2024. During that period, did you speak to her at all?
I'm trying to jog my memory, commissioners.
Maybe I'll tell you why I'm asking this, because I had understood you to be saying you were angry, you were upset that she was marrying somebody who was already married and you wanted nothing to do with that. So I'm assuming because of that, I'll call it disappointment, I won't say anger, that disappointment, there was no communication between you and her after that.
Correct, Commissioner, but as I'm trying to jog back my memory, I think, because I remember knowing that, I remember having been told that Fundiswa is married to that guy that he was talking about, and she's staying in Debe. So that could mean that, although I don't have a good recollection, but that could mean that I might have spoken there, but I did not hear. What I could remember is that I did not hear from her that she was married to that guy.
And so it would be fair to describe your relationship then as strained. It doesn't sound like you had much of a relationship after 2005, or at least from 2014 till 2024 when she asked for a meeting.
Advocate, I will say it is not. Between 2014 and 2024, much as I don't remember how many calls we had, I remember that there was a moment when she was being chased around when she was in Gauteng, which is what I thought that's what prompted her to move to Durban, because there were people chasing her around for what we did not know, because at some stage she was, there was a house robbery, and I was called, and she moved from Midlands to Rodiport at some time, and then she moved from Rodiport to Four Ways, and during that time I was on the case of trying to assist in protecting her. So, but it was after 2005.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Brigadier, maybe just to,
Oh, just before that, who called you? You said you were called. Who called you?
yeah, there are a family member who is very, very close to Fundiswa. Is also the sister to my wife. So she will call and say, so Ufundisa this and this and this, because they know we were very, very close and with Fundis. So,
All right. No. I just wanted to know who called you.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's,
all right,
it's
all
the family member, the sister to my wife.
Brigadier, I accept that between 2025 and 2014, you had a relationship, and this incident you're describing happens in that window, correct?
Ms. Boer, you keep saying 2025. I think you meant 2005. That's why
My
he
apologies.
keeps getting confused.
2005, my apologies, Brigadier, and 2014, I accept that. My interest or in finding a way to describe the relationship is more between 2014 and 2024, because you have testified that you only recall about 3 or 4 calls. How would you then describe that kind of relationship?
Yeah, Advocate, like I was saying, I'm trying to jog back my memory. I'm not sure of the calls that we made, but as I'm saying also, I'm remembering as we were talking that there was also this case, and I remember it was between that 2014 and 2005 that she went to Rodiport police station also, and to report a case. And when she was there, she phoned me to tell me what is happening, and then I went there. So most probably it will be more than those period. I mean those calls numbers that I've mentioned.
Okay, thank you, Brigadier. And then with that, those few calls that happen in between 2014 and 2024, you then get a call saying she's requesting to meet, correct?
Correct.
And for this meeting, she comes from Durban.
Correct, Advocate.
At that stage, she had moved to Durban.
Correct, Advocate.
And her coming to Joburg is specifically to meet you.
Correct, Advocate.
And then during this, she asks you about assistance in relation to her family estate, her deceased family estate. So does this, at this point, does that include now her siblings, or was this in relation to her mother?
Also including the siblings, because she said, I remember when we were talking about not wanting to narrate too much, and disclose certain hidden things. Talk about the estate of the brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you say that in this meeting, she then had a conversation with you about meeting Mr. Molefe.
Correct, advocate.
Now, when this happens, you hadn't met Mr. Molefe at all. And in fact, on your version, you had only heard about him in 2005. What did you think about this request to meet him?
I asked her, why does your husband want to meet me? He says, it is not good that you guys, you don't know one another, yet me, I communicate with you now and there. And now my husband is more than willing to meet you. And I want, me as Funis, I want you to meet my husband.
Brigadier, just to make sure, in your earlier statement you said that, was it her husband that wanted to meet you? Right? And then she, of course, had her own independent desire for you to meet him.
Yes. So both of them, they wanted to meet me according to my understanding, because she said, it is not right for you not knowing my husband. Now, my husband proposed to meet you, and I also want you to meet my husband.
Now, did you find it at all strange that this request was coming in 2024, when they got married in 2021, and you started knowing of him and his intention to marry in 2005?
Of course, advocate, I find it strange.
And did you convey those feelings of finding it strange?
To her?
Yes.
Yes, of course. As we were discussing, I asked politely that Siswam Agongjet, why ukatiso afuna ukuzohlangana nami, and you know ukuthi ngakutshela ukuthi ukatiso angimfuni because he's a married man. He's no longer married now. What I no, they are. Is divorcing with his wife. So he will come and confirm it to you. So he's no longer a married a man. So I said, oh, okay, it's fine.
Okay, so because he was no longer married, is that what made you willing to meet, or you were willing to meet irrespective?
It loosened my feeling about the man.
Okay. Now, at this stage, outside of what you know of him, which is he's a businessman and he was married, did you know anything else about Mr. Molefe?
No.
And had you checked on Mr. Molefe, who
No.
he is, or asked anyone about him?
No.
All right.
Not at that stage.
Okay, and so you then proceed to the meeting with Mr. Molefe, and you've already testified that Ms. Nyangule and your nephew didn't stay long.
On the
On
meeting with
the
Katis.
meeting with Katis.
Yes, advocate.
All right. So the two of you, you say, talked on very general terms, you say,
Correct, advocate.
including that he told you about his various business interests and the security sector.
Correct, advocate.
And then you say you told him about your approaching retirement. Was this a frank discussion about you potentially joining him?
Perhaps, can you narrate on the frank discussion?
Was it an offer? You were saying, I'm retiring. He says, I have interest in security. And in fact, you said, this is beyond your statement, that he had a tender I think you said Machabeng,
Correct, Advocate.
and that tender needed security.
Correct, Advocate.
And so he was offering, or at least requesting, that when you retire, you would come and work with him.
Correct, Advocate. Let me tell you that as we were discussing, after all the discussions, when he come to this point, I finally thought, oh, this is why he wanted to come and see me. Because he told me about this tender there, and that it's a multi-billion tender, and I'm needing 3 security companies to be in this particular area. And as you say, you are nearing to retirement. I think it can assist you in your retirement if you choose to. Then I said, no, you're coming up with something good I'm interested in. And we can start working on the issues on my period of nearing retirement.
Okay, so you are saying that then felt like this was the crux of why he wanted to meet you?
Exactly, because
Okay.
all this time I was still so casual.
KG or?
Yeah, KG.
Because when you say casual, but you're.
I'm sorry. You know, so
So you were still apprehensive and cagey. You were not
exactly. I was still
open yet.
cagey as
Yeah.
to exactly why did he want to come and meet me, because he was just telling me, introducing himself, telling me his upbringings, going to school, and he's a businessman and so forth. He grew up playing this and that, and telling me like he's giving me his CV.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
But still, I was not convinced, but little bit convinced to think that maybe he is trying to qualify that he is a good man for my sister. Because he even told me that he is in the process of a divorce without me asking him. Then I thought, oh, okay, Fundisa told him that this is what I said.
Yeah.
So, in a way, I was starting to be convinced that I was starting to give him a benefit of doubt.
Okay. All right. And so he tells you about this opportunity. You agree that, okay, it's something that's good and something to consider. And then I guess you're concluding, you say, he then asks you a question about this bail application. How does it come about? Does it come about as abrupt as you describe it?
Correct, Advocate. We were sitting now, finishing our meal and drinks, and it was now some time that we've been